Make sure to subscribe to this channel for more videos like this.
The way she ride, the way she rock her body. The way she ride, the way she rock her body. The way she ride, the way she rock her body. The way she ride, the way she rock her body. The way she ride, the way she rock her body.
This evening into tonight and tomorrow morning until this moves away.
Yeah, tomorrow morning, pretty much everywhere across the southeast except for right at the coast, right? Yep. Going to be seeing temperatures around freezing or colder, and so anything that was wet then becomes ice. So let's talk about the risk of black ice and what it is. And we call it black ice because basically it blends in with the pavement, right? Which is usually a black top, and you can't really see it. And it can be very deceiving where you think everything looks fine or maybe everything looks wet, but it's actually quite icy. So it's just a thin coat of very highly transparent ice, and it can develop in a number of different ways. Snow can melt, especially during the day when the sun comes out and the streets become wet, and then at night temperatures drop down and it becomes icing. Of course, we have precipitation that can come down and melt on contact with the roadways when the surface temperatures are too warm and create the ice. And then things like fog or even almost a development of a frost can put a deposit on some of the roadways. So bridges and overpasses tend to ice up first. Shady spots from trees that might protect parts of the road tend to have black ice. So there's some things that you can do trying to avoid it altogether. If you don't have to go out, don't travel under these conditions, but always keep your steering straight, foot off the gas. Hey everybody, welcome back to Storm Center, where we are tracking the latest with Winter Storm Jasper. As you look at the satellite image on the globe here, you can really see that big streak of moisture from the Gulf through the southeast and into the mid-Atlantic. Jasper is bringing some very big wintry impacts, including freezing rain, snow, and damaging ice. And that ice risk is going to be increasing with time as we head into the evening hours and into the overnight. And that ice is going all the way down to the coast. Our meteorologist Felicia Combs is live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina right now, where there is an ice storm warning in effect. And Felicia, I know even the government has shut down for today and tomorrow both.
Yeah, they're definitely taking this seriously. Of course, Jackie, places like Myrtle Beach, no stranger to preparing for dangerous weather. It's just typically the dangerous weather of the hurricane variety rather than the winter storm variety. It's been nearly 7 years since the National Weather Service in Wilmington, which is the National Weather Service that services the Myrtle Beach area, has issued an ice storm warning. So it's been a really long time since they've issued an ice storm warning there. Now, I will tell you, if you were to look at the radar for where we are right here in Myrtle Beach, it would look like we should just be getting pounded by freezing rain at this point. That's not the case. Some of it is not quite reaching the ground, but I'd say in the past 2 minutes, I've started to see a little bit more frequency. I want to show you something that's kind of something we talk about quite a bit. So once those temperatures drop below freezing, we talk about the bridges and overpasses freezing more quickly than the regular roads, and that's where you see a lot of your accidents. And I think this is a really great opportunity to show you why. So I'm here on a bridge at Boardwalk at the beach, and you can see why elevated surfaces like bridges and overpasses are more susceptible to freezing than the roads that are just kind of regularly on the ground. It's because they're surrounded by that freezing or below freezing air. They're getting cooled from both sides. You get evaporational cooling from the wind as well. So I can't stress enough that as you head out, we actually spoke with the public information officer or director earlier, and he told us that they're not treating the roads here in the Myrtle Beach area. They don't typically get ice storms. As I said, it's been 7 years or nearly 7 years since the last warning. So the roads are going to freeze now that we're getting the freezing rain coming down, but those bridges and those overpasses are particularly susceptible. So you want to be really careful. And in fact, I'd say the best way to be careful in this instance, in this region, is to not head out at all. It is going to be treacherous travel overnight tonight and into Saturday morning until we get those temperatures to warm significantly above freezing. So Mark, it is the perfect Friday night to stay in, hanging out with the Weather Channel or catching up on reading or whatever you want to do. Just don't be out on the roads.
Yeah, we like to say that winter storms are usually not a threat.
Hunker down and plan to spend the night at home and stay indoors. Freezing rain beginning to develop along with some of that snow in parts of South Carolina. So we are concerned that this is going to add up over time and may lead to some power outages and very dangerous travel conditions. Myrtle Beach, one of the places where an ice storm warning is in effect into tomorrow morning. And our meteorologist Felicia Combs is joining us live there right now with a look at some of those conditions. conditions on the ground. Hey, Felicia.
Hey, Jackie, you know, if you were to look at the radar here in Myrtle Beach for the past hour or so, it would have looked like we were solidly stuck in that freezing rain. But I'll tell you, it's just been in about the past 30 minutes or so that we've really seen this come to fruition here at ground level. The rain is fully coming down. Of course, that's what freezing rain is. It can be deceptive if you don't know what you're dealing with. Freezing rain is just regular rain falling from the sky, meeting surfaces that are at or below freezing. And therein lies the danger. It becomes solid sheets of ice, and then it becomes hazardous. Now, we're here at Broadway at the beach, which would typically be a bustling tourist spot on a Friday night, especially during the summer. The winter's not quite in season, but we're seeing notes like this. This is at dueling pianos here, and the note saying they're going to be closed tonight due to weather. They're going to reopen Saturday evening, which is a really good bet. And, you know, I think that that's a safe call. We actually spoke with the public information director earlier, and he said that even though it's the winter, this place where we are, so typically you'd see a lot more people. We have seen a few people, and I'd say that's not a great idea. This is the evening in Myrtle Beach to be staying home. The music's playing. It sounds like a party, but it's certainly not a party, and that's what we like to see. I can't stress it enough. Conditions are going to continue to worsen. It's going to take a little while for that ice to solidly set because we hit 67 degrees in Myrtle Beach yesterday, but now that it's begun, now that we really have that rain, the evaporational cooling, all of that taking effect, it is going to get icy, and it's going to get icy quickly overnight tonight and into Saturday morning. And it's going to be hazardous here on the roads in Myrtle Beach until it warms up, until at least tomorrow around lunchtime. So, Chris, that's what we're seeing here. More of an ice threat in Myrtle Beach. As you look a little bit farther, say, inland towards, say, Greenville, it's more of a couple different type of wintry presets that you could be seeing.
Yeah, and Felicia, do me a favor. If you do get ice, I want to see a palm tree covered in frozen, frozen water. It still amazes me. It happens, but every time I see it, I'm like, it's like a contradictory statement. So will you find one for me if it happens?
No worries.
Okay.
That's all I'm here
looking
for now.
forward to it.
Could create more flash flooding, but could also be severe. I'm not expecting a ton of storms across the region, so not a lot of widespread area of storms, but they may be severe, the ones that do develop. So we've got a frontal boundary that's draped across the region, little sea breeze trying to kick in. So this is the southeast coast. This is West Palm Beach stretching down into the northern Keys. So some of the same areas that got hit hard yesterday evening may be seen it again. And on the satellite, you can really kind of see where that frontal boundary lies. The latest radar is showing some spotty showers trying to get going. We've had some of that heating of the day where temperatures have made it into the 80s. So we'll watch this trend over the next couple of hours and see what's developing. But the latest short-term models have really been pretty persistent at bringing some spotty thunderstorms, especially around Fort Lauderdale, stretching northward to Boca and on up towards West Palm Beach. That will likely last until maybe the midnight hour or so, and then things will settle down, I think, a little bit through the overnight hours, but we could see a return of some afternoon showers or stray thunderstorms into your Saturday as well. So Miami, it says cloudy. I think you still have a chance of rain, but right now the best chance might just be up to the north of you. All right, we want to head back out to our Felicia Combs, who is live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. This beach much colder than Miami Beach, Felicia.
Significantly colder, Jackie. Now, yesterday they hit 67 degrees. That was the official high. On average, around this time of year in Myrtle Beach, we would be sitting at 55 degrees. Instead, we've been hovering around 30, and now we are at freezing. The rain is coming down solidly, and freezing rain is going to be a big concern. You can already see just how wet it is here at Boardwalk at the beach. All of this liquid rain coming down, but eventually this is going to freeze, and that's why we're under an ice storm warning here in Myrtle Beach. And for much of the coastal Carolinas, ice damage going to be a serious concern, whether it's the hazard on the treacherous roads or the fact that we are expecting power outages. Of course, it's not just here, though, along the coast. Places like Greenville, North Carolina, also dealing with winter weather for the second weekend in a row. That's where we have our own Chris Bruin. He's coming up after the break. Also, what should you do if you are dealing with black ice? That's what we could see Saturday morning. More on all of that coming up, so stick around with the Weather Channel for more coverage on Winter Storm Jasper.